Kyle Larson is able to get the win at Watkins Glen. Chase Elliott, oh so close, finishes up second, needed a caution there at the end. And this, I just want to say, I'm so glad Watkins Glen is back. One of the best road courses on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. And in my honest opinion, I find it better than the Daytona road course. But anyway, let's go ahead and unpack from this season's Watkins Glen race. Hey guys, NASCAR Mobile 48 back again, and welcome back to another episode of NRR. And yeah, it's just good to be back here, getting to say those lines. Haven't said that in a couple weeks, but in today's video, we're going to be reviewing the 2021 Go Bowling at the Glen at Watkins Glen International. This race, it was a pretty fulfilled race. It was actually pretty good, to be honest. Like, the first stage was, it was pretty decent. The second stage was just a complete domination by MTJ, but the third stage started to get a bit crazy and a bit dramatic towards the end, but still, decent race out here. I'll give the rating after review our top 10, but like we always do, guys, review the top 10. We're also going to rate the race. We're going to talk about this race as a whole, like sum it up, this race, and then we're going to look at the drivers who had good days and drivers who had bad days, and finally we're going to be looking at the playoff standings coming out of this race going into the Indy Road Course next week, and I just cannot wait for that race. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive on into this episode. Finishing in first was Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson just does it again. He is finally back after what has been a bit of a struggle for him recently. But Larson is back, doing it once again. Gets the win, gets his 11th career win, his 5th win of 2021, and his 2nd win at a road course, to be honest, because when he won at Sonoma earlier this year, that was his first win ever on a road course. So congrats to Kyle Larson getting the win at the Glen and beating Chase Elliott. It is not easy to do, especially at a road course. Truex couldn't do it the last 2-3 years at Watkins Glen, but Larson was able to do it. And also, a fun fact, Kyle Larson has beaten Chase Elliott 3 times this season at Charlotte, Sonoma, and now the Glen because of the 1-2 finishes. Yeah, Larson finished first, Elliott second at Charlotte. You also had that at Sonoma, and you had that today. So, Larson's up on Chase Elliott 3-1, because the only time Elliott beat Kyle Larson was at COTA when it was rain shortened. So good race there by Kyle Larson. You know, he has not won since the Ally 400 on Father's Day, and that was a long time. And so definitely a bit of a struggle for him recently, but Larson is back, no more mistakes, clean race. Now can Larson keep up this momentum going into the Indy Road Course? Because you have to say Kyle Larson is going to be a competitor there too, because we will have practice and qualifying, but you know, he's just been doing so good at the road courses, especially in Hendrick equipment, so you gotta say he's going to be a straight competitor with Chase Elliott. I think Allmendinger's going to be racing, and Austin Cindric, which I know for sure he's going to race. So, and Chase Briscoe, he won the inaugural race there in the Xfinity Series last year, so cannot wait for that race next week. But yeah, congrats to Kyle Larson, and we'll see what he can do at the Indy Roval. Finishing second is Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott comes up oh so close here at the Glen. He was gaining on Kyle Larson, but really he needed a caution severely because it's a very long road course, 7 turns. Elliott just needed a caution to come to his favor, but it did not. So Elliott comes up short with second place finish, but you still have to take that for Chase Elliott. That's another top 5 finish. So that's good for him. He hasn't had top 5 since he won at Road America back on July 4th. So decent race for Chase Elliott. We'll see what they can do definitely going into the Indy Road Course, because you know him and Kyle Larson are going to enter in that race. You know, just trying to figure out the racetrack. And don't be surprised, guys. Don't be surprised if we see any other Cup Series drivers enter into that Xfinity Series race, like how we had that at COTA a few months ago. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, decent race for Chase Elliott in the 19. They were just oh so close, but they just weren't there. They just ran out of time, ran out of room and stuff. But still, decent race for them, and we'll see what they can do next week. Finishing in third was Martrix Jr. Martrix Jr. since 2017 at Watkins Glen, or actually no, since 2016 at Watkins Glen, has always gotten the top 10 finish and stuff, so that's good for him, because Truex, like I said before, in previous episodes, after he won the Goodyear 400 at Darlington, ever since that race, he's just been struggling. He's just been on a struggle bus. I don't know what's been going on with him. But recently, he's been starting to pick things back up. Like at Atlanta, got back to third, and at New Hampshire after he wrecked when the rain came out on the racetrack, he was able to rebound and get a nice solid top 15 finish, finished in 12th, and now gets third here today. So you see March Extreme started to pick things back up. This is just like how it was last year, where after he won at Martinsville, he started to struggle, but then in late July to August, he started to pick things back up. So Truex starting to pick things back up. Now, can he get another win? We will see, but a decent race for MTJ and the 19 team, and we'll see what they can do at the Indy Roval, because once again, that's another competitor for that race. Finishing in fourth was Kyle Busch. Thought Kyle Busch would have a stronger day. Just he had a nice, consistent top 5 car. Just wasn't as good as his teammate. Wasn't as good as the 2 top Hendrick cars. But still a decent race for Kyle Busch and the 18 team. Definitely makes up for that terrible race at New Hampshire a couple weeks ago. And I guess whatever he did in that Speedo, oh my gosh, I can't even get it out of my head. Whatever happened with that Speedo kind of gave him some good luck for him to get a top 5. Oh my gosh. But anyway, decent race for Kyle Busch. We'll see what he can do at the Indy Road Course. I don't think he'll win, but he'll definitely be a competitor up there, but not as strong as like a Larson, Elliott, or Truex. But anyway, decent race for the 18 team. Rounding out the top 5 and 5th is Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin had a solid race. Definitely had a top 5, top 10 car and stuff. Definitely wasn't in competing in for the win, but had a decent car and stuff. Just Denny Hamlin, just still struggling, trying to get his first win of the year. He could get at the Roval, but I don't see it because you have other drivers who are better than him at the road courses. But Michigan, watch out for Michigan because he finished second in both Michigan races last year. But also Kevin Harvick has won both of them. So watch out for Hamlin in a couple weeks when we head over to Motor City and Michigan for that race. But anyway, and you also have Kyle Larson winning this race. He's gaining in on Denny Hamlin for the regular season championship title, which I think Larson took the lead after winning here today, because I believe before this race it was a 13-point gap for that. So, man, leave it to Denny Hamlin to not only lose a NASCAR championship title, but also lose the regular season title. Oh, that would be so heartbreaking. But still, decent race for Hamlin, and we'll see what they can do next week. Finishing in 6th was William Byron. Also a great race for William Byron because, he's very good at road courses. And he started second here back in 2019, and he was running pretty good until he ran into the back of Kyle Busch and kind of ruined his day. But anyway, still a decent race for William Byron, especially getting a top 10 this race after they have not scored a top 10 since the first Pocono race. Yeah, the first Pocono race when they finished third. So definitely a good result for them. They need to pick things back up, especially when playoff time is just around the corner. So great job for William Byron, the 24 team, and we'll see what they can do next week. Finishing 7th was Christopher Bell. If you really think about it, guys, Bell secretly has been on a roll because ever since Road America, he's gotten a top 10. Like, he finished second at Road America, finished, I think, like 8th at Atlanta, and then he finished second, of course, to Eric Almirola at Loudon, and now gets a nice, solid 7th place finish here. It could have been better, but, later in the race, but Kyle Larson ran into or taken out Christopher Bell in turn 1, but I can't really blame Kyle Larson. I have to put most of the blame on Christopher Bell because when Larson was trying to get in there, he was just close to the grass. Bell just didn't give him enough room, so that's not Kyle Larson's fault. That's kind of on Christopher Bell, but Bell did get a nice rebound and still get a top 10 finish, which is really good. Just not as good as his teammates who got top 5 finishes. So you see Bell still slowing back. It's still, in the back and still. But hey, Bell also rebounded not only from that, but also starting from the rear, just like Chase Elliott at the early part of this race. They both did not have their crew chiefs for this race, but they both were able to get a top 10 finishes. So that's good for Chase Elliott and Christopher Bell to get a top 10 finish. But it's also embarrassing for Bell get taken out by Larson, but then Larson goes on to win. But still can't blame Larson for it. Gotta put most of the blame on Christopher Bell, but that doesn't matter. But still, decent race for Christopher Bell and the 20 team, and we'll see what they can do heading into Indianapolis next week. Finishing in 8th is Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick, in the last 2 races, has been on a bit of a rebound. Like, he ran pretty strong at Loudon and now runs pretty strong here today at Watkins Glen. So, great race for Harvick and the 4 team. Still not up to their winning potential like they have been the previous years. But we'll see if they can get a win this season. Like I said, about Denny Hamlin. Watch out for him when it comes to Michigan, because that's not Michigan anymore. That's Kevin Harvick Speedway. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. But a decent race for Harvick, and we'll see what they can do next week. I don't think they'll win, but I think they'll be competitive at least. Finishing in ninth is Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe able to get his third top 10 finish of the season. And just Chase Briscoe is just good at these road courses. He is just really living up to the hype that he had last season. Now getting his third top 10, and I believe it's on the... Yeah, actually, he's gotten all three top 10 finishes on road courses at Coda, Road America, and now Watkins Glen. And these tracks are all new to him, well, except for Road America. But still, decent race for Chase Briscoe. Proud of him to get a top 10 finish. He did door slam Christopher Bell early in this race, but still, good thing that there was no damage on the car. Well, there was damage, but good thing there was no tire smoke. Able to still keep a top 10 finish. So good job for Chase Briscoe. And we'll see what he can do at the Indy Road Course, because he won the inaugural race there back in the Xfinity Series last year. So could he get a win? I don't know. Maybe a top 5, top 10, but we'll just have to wait and see. And rounding out the top 10 is Tyler Reddick. A strong run for Tyler Reddick. And it's actually a really good run for him and Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell, because all three of them, this is their first race at Watkins Glen in the Cup Series, so that's really good for them. So decent race for Tyler Reddick. You know, you could tell he was better than Austin Dillon, because we all know Austin Dillon's not really good at road courses, but still a strong run by Tyler Reddick. Definitely gained a few points on Austin Dillon. We'll take a look at that once we get to the end of the race, but definitely good race for them, and we'll see what they can do on another road course to where he can do good, but Dillon could struggle, so we'll just have to wait and see. And now let's rate this race. This was a very solid race at Watkins Glen. I would say this was better than the 2019 one. I'm not completely sure, because I barely remember that one, because of course that was 2 years ago. But this was definitely a solid race at a road course, so I'm going to give it a nice solid 9 out of 10. The only problem I had with this race was just stage 2, you know, it was just boring. Truex led it all the way. We did have some good battles in stage 2, but it was a very solid race overall, so I gave it a straight out 9 out of 10 here. And it would have been a whole lot better if Chase Elliott did come back and actually catch Larson and take the lead away from it. That would have been one of the greatest road courses ever. But we'll see. I bet we'll have some other good racing, you know, at Watkins Glen, not Watkins Glen, but Indy Road Course next week, and also at Charlotte Roval later this year. But we'll see. But anyway, this was a great race in my opinion, so I gave it a 9 out of 10. Let me know what you guys would give it in the comment section below. So talking about this race as a whole, we had some stories coming into this race. We had Chastain, of course, going to Trackhouse, which I predicted, so congrats to Ross Chastain. The numbers potentially being sliding forward, which I think is better than them sliding backwards. And also Chase Elliott and Christopher Bell both had to start at the rear, and they both lost their crew chief for the race. And you know, Elliott's just been having pre-race inspection problems all out this season, so hopefully this thing can turn around, because you do not want this stuff happening, especially in the playoffs where it's just a crucial moment. Also, Keselowski spun out during the race when he was leading, gave the lead to Logano, because he has some bad luck on road courses, even at the Glen back in 2012 against Marcus Ambrose. Also, there was a good battle for the lead between Logano, Larson, and Truex in stage 1, and then Keselowski slid in turn 1. He's just had brake issues and stuff, and then Logano was able to win the first stage. Ryan Blaney then spun out in stage 2, and I'm thinking, wow, Penske's just not having a good day if you think about it. And then James Davison stalled out in turn 7, and then Penske overall was just having brake issues. And then we saw Elliott struggling. He flat spotted one of his tires, had to come into the pits and stuff. That was not good for him. Truex just dominated stage 2 and eventually won it. And there was a tight battle for the lead between him, Bell, and Larson. And then Eric Jones spun in the carousel, and he was just having such a good day. And then Larson took out Christopher Bell in turn 1, and like I said, just didn't give Larson enough room to make a good, solid, clean pass. And then Keselowski had brake issues again, because he slid into Logano in turn 1 and took them both out. That was just a bad day for Penske overall in today's race. And then Larson was able to beat Martrix Jr. off pit road. That was basically the move of the race to give Kyle Larson the win. And then Daniel Suarez was having electrical issues, just bad luck for them recently and stuff. They just cannot catch a break, especially at the road courses. And then Hamlin was leaking fuel at one point. Then we saw Elliott was gaining. He was up to 4th, moving up. But it was just not enough for him, and eventually Larson was able to get the win. So that's the race summarized as a whole. Now let's look at the drivers who did good and bad. Two drivers who I thought had a good race are Matt Benedetto, Ross Chastain. First with Matt Benedetto, finished 11th. I thought they had a really solid race and stuff. They were running in the top 10 as well, just couldn't get a top 10 finish, but still ran a really solid race and something that they need to keep doing. But at this point in the playoffs, especially with that Almirola win back in Loudon a couple weeks ago, oh man, they need a win, so they're just saving up their best stuff for Daytona, I guess, but we'll just see, we'll see. And then Ross Chastain gets a nice solid 12th place finish. I feel like he could have gotten a top 10 finish because he was running 4th in this race, and he was just running solid in the top 10, but fell back to 12. Definitely are still in a must-win situation, but still decent race by Ross Chastain in the 42. Now let's look at the drivers who did bad. And finally, the drivers that did bad, starting off with Ryan Blaney. Blaney finished 14th. I feel like they had a top 10 car, and they spun out at the end of stage 1. Definitely not really the best day for the number 12 team. Electrical problems for Daniel Suarez, like I said when I was summing up the race, and man, they just had so much bad luck on road courses, because I believe they finished in like 31st, or yeah, 31st, so not good for Daniel Suarez, and they just been falling back recently. Next up, Alex Bowman finished 20th. Bowman, I just have to say, this was like his worst finish since I'd say Road America and stuff. He's just not really known for like top 20s and stuff. Top 10s is mostly your top 15, so definitely needs to rebound a bit because you don't want to have these results in the playoffs. So I think Bowman just needs to have a bit of a rebound. Just not really his best race here today. Also, to Joey Logano, got taken out by his teammate Keselowski, nothing of his own fault, and started to have brake issues, so just bad day for Penske overall. And then, like I said, Brad Keselowski, brake issues, spun out like 3 times today, just a bad day for him, because Logano had a really solid race going, and he finished 22nd, while Keselowski just finished 35th, and he started first. Oh man, guys, if Keselowski ever starts first in a race, you know he's not going to do well. That happened at Darlington. Started first, finished 24th. Started first today, finished 35th. And finally, Eric Jones. He spun out in this race. He was running as high as like 12th, I think. He had a good solid race, but then comes back to like finish 27. So I feel like they could have done a whole lot better. But anyway, those are the drivers who I thought had a bad race. Now let's look at the playoff standings after today. And now, here are the playoff standings after Watkins Glen. Kyle Larson still in the commanding lead with 5 wins. Truex and Johnson second and third with 3 wins. Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott 4th and 5th with 2 wins. And then from 6th all the way to 13th, you have Byron, Logano, Blaney, Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Christopher Bell, Michael McDowell, and Eric Almirola, all with 1 win. Then you have Denny Hamlin, who I already think is already locked into the playoffs with over 300 points, sitting in 14th. And also, I looked, him and Kyle Larson are tied for the regular season championship. So 3 races left. Things are going to get exciting here. And next up, Kevin Harvick in 15th with about like 95-point gap. And then you have Tyler Reddick with a 15-point gap, which was originally 5 coming into this race over Austin Dillon. Then you have 18th. You have Chris Buescher. 19th, you have Matt Benedetto, and finally in 20th, you have Ross Chastain. So you see the gap has gotten bigger for Tyler Reddick. Only 5 points because Austin Dillon's not good at road courses, but he didn't have a bad day. He finished 15th while Reddick finished in 10th. So definitely not a big change there, but we'll see if the change could get bigger because Austin Dillon probably does not like where we're going next week. We're going to the Indy road course, and he's not really good at road courses, so we'll see if that will have an effect right there. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We're at 175. Still about like 66% of you who watch this don't subscribe. So please subscribe. It means a lot to me, guys. Thank you so much. Also, I uploaded my first video for NASCAR Gaming 48. Go check that out. I'll have that link to my channel in the description. Also, follow me on Instagram. And also, my birthday gifts video, I will have it as soon as I get these cars that I ordered online. Once they come in, I also have some other cars that I bought recently. Once we get the cars ordered in and here, we'll make the video as soon as possible. Also for the playoff predictions video, for choosing who's gonna get eliminated in each round. I'm looking to do that with Trucks and Xfinity series, so stay tuned for that once the playoffs come around for those series. Well, actually, the Truck series, their playoffs are gonna start in a couple weeks, so get ready for that. And also, yeah, I think that's about it. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your weekend, and see you guys in the next one. Peace out.